So today I am going to answer the question, is someone born a star? like are you just born and that is just what you are and that's it? That is probably a question I get a lot from parents. Of course, not every parent comes to me and go like, is my kid born a star? But I do get similar questions like, well, is their personality right for this? Are they going to do well in acting? Or, are they really a singer or not? Do they have potential? The easiest answer to that is nobody can tell you that. Nobody can tell you who is born a star and who is not. Because stars come from the most unsuspecting places. We've heard those stories in Hollywood. In retrospect, we've always knew they were a star. Did you really know? Were you really sure? There's so much uncertainty in what we do here. So let's take singing and dancing. I would go with singing first. The easiest way to understand this. There's kids that we feel like, oh my gosh, you're so naturally talented. Because it's easy to tell who is at least somewhat naturally talented as a singer and who's not. Like, can they carry a pitch? Do they sound good? Some kids who are like 6, 7 years old, they're already sounding like pretty darn good. And then there are the 6, 7-year-olds like, man, they can't carry a tune, complete off pitch. The first thing I tell all my students that come in is that, I don't believe in somebody, a person is tone deaf. If you talk, if you can speak, and you don't speak in a robotic monotone voice, then you're not tone deaf. You have tones. The only thing you don't know how to do is match pitch. So it's just a matter of using it as a skill. And as with most skills, some people, it comes more naturally to them. And some people, requires a little bit more of a, there's a learning curve. But in the end, it's learnable. Everything's learnable in singing, in voice, is that you can learn how to use it and make it work and make your voice shine. It is just a matter of were you given that opportunity to. So with kids who I see that are like, they can sing really well when they're really young, most of the time it's because nobody in their life told them to sit down, shut up, be quiet, go, don't say anything. Here, play with an iPhone, like there are parents who do that, and it's okay, it's normal because you have events, you have friends over, and you need to tell your kid to behave, be quiet, grown-ups are talking. And so with that said, if you want your child to do well as a singer, then you have to give them opportunities to just sing and not judge. Like really not judge. Don't tell them, oh no, you're doing this wrong, like nothing. Just let them sing. Let them just keep singing. Because the more they sing, the more they're going to get good at it. That is the truth. If you allow them to just naturally sing a lot, they're going to get good. Of course, if you get a coach with them, that's good. That will, reinforce this. Then it will even speed up their ability to get really good. That's pretty much it. You see that in a lot of cultures. Like, I have a lot of Filipino friends and they're so good at singing, like so good. It's because in that culture, everyone sings and everyone's just like, just go sing. But of course there are the ones, where they're born into a family where their parents are telling them like, okay, you suck, don't sing, stop. Then they stop. And then of course, years later, they want to become better singers and they're like, oh, I suck. Well, chances are it's because, they were told not to sing. And that kind of applies to everything else too. As a dancer, same thing, be goofy, be, weird and stuff, and then nobody told them to stop. Or comedians, same thing, the ones that are funny, it's not because they're born naturally funny, it's because they were telling jokes when they were young and nobody told them to, oh gosh, that's not funny, okay, you should just stop, because they just kept joking, and then so they became the class clown because they enjoy that and everyone started laughing at it, at a young age, so it encouraged them. So most often it's because the environment we're in created who we are. And there are ways to fight against that and to, break that pattern. And so if you want to be good at any of those things and you want to be a star, then you need to create an environment that fosters and allows you to have that opportunity to explore. If you want to be an actor, you have to have an environment where you can play pretend. You can go and try different things and put on a costume without people looking at you weird and funny, and then you start hiding. But of course, if you can overcome even that, then you're legendary. Until next time, please like and subscribe. And of course, if you have any questions or if you don't agree with me, if you think you are absolutely born a star and there's no other way around it, then Share that with me. I would love to hear your thoughts and your input. Anyways, until next time.